thank you for coming to this special screening of No Other Choice. My name is Michael Ordonia. I cover film, television, and pop culture for the Los Angeles Times, San Francisco Chronicle, and The Wrap. And this is one of my favorite movies of the year, made by a guy who I think is one of the best filmmakers in the world, director Chan Park. Yeah. Interestingly, this is not the first time he worked with the star of this film, who happens to be here today. You did, didn't you? Joint Security Area, yeah. Joint Security Area, the first thing they worked on is now streaming on Tubi. If you want to watch it, you're going to be shocked at what babies everyone is in it. All right, without further ado, let's bring out our special guest. His list of box office accomplishments and awards is way too long to try to list here, but because we're in Los Angeles, I do want to note that he's one of the first 2 Korean performers to have his feet and handprints in front of Grauman's Chinese. And he's the first Korean performer to ever present at the Oscars. So please, join me in welcoming to a brief Q&A, international superstar Lee Byung-hun. Thanks for being here. I know you've been bouncing around a lot.
No, thank you for coming.
In fact, I saw you just the other night at the CCAs going on stage with K-pop Demon Hunters. For the now, you and Director Park haven't worked together since a horror anthology movie called 3 Extremes in 2004. So you've, of course, said before you wanted to work with him again. But this character is not like how I think people think of you. I think your public image tends to be cool and suave and in control, even if you're a villain. So here you're playing a total schlub. What was Director Park's pitch to you? How did he get you to do this?
먼저 일단 미국의 관객들에게는 저에게서 약간 낯선 모습을 보셨을 거예요. 근데 아마도 미국에서 영화를 할 때에는 액션 위주의 그런 영화들을 많이 선보였기 때문에 더 그렇지 않을까 싶어요. 근데 사실 한국에서는 정말 여러 가지 장르의 또 여러 가지 캐릭터들을 많이 했었어요. 그 중에는 이렇게 굉장히 평범하기도 하고 또 우스꽝스럽기도 한 그런 캐릭터들도 꽤 있었어요.
For an American audience, it would definitely be a little bit unfamiliar seeing me in this way, because a lot of the American movies that I've participated in tend to be of the genre of action. However, in terms of Korean filmography, I think I've explored a huge variety of genres and different characters. So I have played ordinary and rather comical characters before in my career.
근데 이 만수라는 캐릭터는 사실 캐릭터 자체에 젖어드는 부분은 크게 힘들진 않았어요. 굉장히 우리가 흔히 볼 수 있는 평범한 가장의 모습이고, 물론 이제 굉장히 한국적인 그런 어떤 여전히 가부장적인 그런 면이 엿보이는 그런 캐릭터이긴 하지만, 캐릭터에 젖어드는 것보다는 이런 평범한 캐릭터가 맞닥뜨리게 되는 현실과 또 그로 인해서 그걸 극복하기 위해서 내리게 되는 아주 극단적인 어떤 결정, 그리고 그걸 행동에 옮기는 것, 이런 것들을 내가 그 캐릭터에 설득당하는 데 시간이 좀 걸렸던 것 같아요.
In terms of my character Mansu, I would say it was not difficult at first to approach him or understand him as a character because he's a rather typical father and a very stereotypical Korean and patriarchal character as well. And because he's so ordinary, I didn't have trouble approaching him. However, in terms of understanding him as a character that has to overcome these very difficult hardships and the realities that he's put in, as well as the very extreme decisions he has to make and how he puts these decisions to action, that took a little bit more convincing for me to really seep into this character.
결국 배우란 직업은 최종적으로 작가의 의도와 어떻든 감독이 어떻게 연출하든 최종적으로 스크린에서 관객들을 최종적으로 설득시켜야 하는 롤이기 때문에 내가 먼저 그 역할에 설득을 당해야 저 또한 관객들을 설득시킬 수 있다고 생각을 하거든요.
Acting as a job, I think beyond what the writer intends or what the director does on set, I think we have the responsibility through the screen to convince the audience of the character's motives. And because of that responsibility, I really had to be convinced of Mansu's motives to in turn convince the audience.
Yeah, I'd say that that's particularly true in farce, in this style of comedy where the stakes are so high that you would think of killing the people ahead of you to get a job. Not that anyone here has ever thought of doing that. So, was there anything about playing that was difficult? I mean, you said that he seemed very ordinary to you, especially as a Korean father. Was there anything that was tough for you to justify, to motivate?
아무래도 공감하기가 힘들죠. 실직을 하고 아무리 다음 직업을 구하려고 이리저리 힘들게 애쓰다가 결국에 경쟁자를 제거하기 위해서 살인을 하게 되는 그런 결정을 과연 일반적으로 할 수 있을까? 그런 측면에서 본다면 굉장히 저한테는 그런 순간들을 이해하고 넘어가기가 공감하기가 굉장히 좀 힘들었던 시간이 있었어요.
Of course, there were parts of the character that was very difficult to empathize with because who loses a job, and of course that process is very difficult, but then goes on to commit murder for his competitors. Who would actually do that? So that part is very difficult to understand. So that process took a little bit of time for me.
그게 만약에 일반적인 사람들이 쉽게 할 수 있는 결정이라면 전 이번에 골든글로브에 같이 노미네이트된 사람들을 제거해야 될까 하는 고민도 해봐야 되는 거죠.
If eliminating your competition was truly an easy decision, then I should go on to eliminate my Golden Globe competitor.
하지만 이렇게 받아들였어요. 극단적으로 어려운 상황에 처했을 때 그래 사람은 누구나 다 각자 다른 결정을 내릴 수 있어 라는 그런 식으로 이해를 했던 것 같고 또 하나는 이 영화가 가진 장르의 어떤 힘 블랙 코미디라는 장르이기 때문에 또 허용이 되는 그런 어떤 허용 범위가 저에게는 좀 큰 도움이 됐어요.
However, despite these difficulties and all these difficult calls that Mansu has to make, I was able to rely on the genre of this film, which is black comedy, to make the decisions that he makes rather acceptable and widen that range of acceptability for the audience.
That makes sense. Although Golden Globe competitors better hope it doesn't come to a fight, you'll probably win. I have to ask about reuniting with Director Park because I'm such a fan of his. After 20 years, did you find that it was different working with him again? Had your methods changed, your approaches?
Yeah, it's been 25 years already, and we've been a good friend at the period. You know, we have dinner together, we drink together. This is a drink party, and yeah, he sometimes comes to my house and have dinner and drink. We talk about all the next project a lot, and we had actually a few chances to work with and work together, but we didn't have matched the schedule. So, anyways, he didn't change at all. He's exactly the same. We both changed a little bit. That's we got a little bit old.
You told me something interesting last time we spoke about the music that you would play on set to set the mood. Can you tell us about some of the music that really helped you?
정말 음악뿐만 아니라 모든 예술에 굉장히 늘 관심이 있어요. 어디 함께 외국의 영화제에 가면 항상 미술관에 가고 또 음악회에 가고 그런 모든 것들에 대한 관심이 굉장히 유난히 많은 사람이에요.
I think Director Park is someone who is very interested not only in music but also all art forms. So when we go to film festivals abroad together, you find him going to art galleries and concerts and constantly nurturing that interest for all the art forms.
촬영 현장에서 이제 스태프들이 준비를 하고 있거나 슛 들어가지 않고 있을 때는 항상 음악을 켜놓고 있는데 그 음악들이 가사가 있는 가수가 노래를 부르는 그런 음악들이 아니고 대부분 다 묘한 음악 그 영화 음악 내지는 경음악들을 항상 혹은 클래식들을 틀어놓고 있어요. 근데 묘하게 우리가 찍을 다음 씬에 왠지 분위기에 어울리는 것들을 튼다는 생각을 어느 순간 했어요.
On set, when we're working together, except for the time that we're actually shooting the scene, when the camera is moving or we're prepping the next moment, Director Park is constantly playing music. And it's not music with typical lyrics, rather it's kind of a strange sort of eerie type of music that can be sort of sound like a movie score or even classical music. But then I realized slowly that it was kind of fitting to the next scene that we were about to shoot. The mood would sort of land us into that next scene that we were preparing.
자기가 음악을 즐기기 위함이기도 하지만 아마 그 내심 전체 스태프들과 배우들이 그 무드에 빠지기를 원했던 것 같아요.
Maybe the music was for him to enjoy himself as well. However, I think it was really the purpose was to get the crew and the actors all in the same wavelength.
Can you think of a piece of guidance he gave you that really helped unlock the character for you? Maybe some advice he gave you about the character?
원작을 보지 마라.
He said, don't watch the original.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the film is dedicated to Costa Gavras because Costa Gavras previously adapted this book into, I think, a French film. So don't watch that apparently. Now you can see it.
그 원작 소설이나 그 어떤 그 원작 소설을 베이스로 해서 만든 영화가 나빠서가 아니고 자기는 단순히 거기에서 아이디어를 꺼집어내서 새롭게 만들었기 때문에 굳이 도움이 될까라는 생각에서 그렇게 말씀하셨던 것 같아요.
I think he said that not because the original novel or movie are bad, but rather because only the idea is from the source novel, but he didn't feel that it would be very helpful because we went in a completely different direction.
때로는 배우들이 이 어떤 저는 스토리보드를 볼 때도 약간 그렇고 스토리보드가 이게 네모난 만화 같은 그림으로 이렇게 그려져 있잖아요. 스토리보드를 볼 때도 그렇고 또 어떤 원작 소설을 읽을 때 필요할 때는 꼭 읽지만 그런 것들을 읽고 나면 어딘가에 갇혀 있는 그런 느낌이 들어서 나만의 상상력을 이용해서 무언가를 크리에이티브하는 것에는 어떤 면에서는 방해가 될 수도 있다고 생각하는 편이거든요.
It comes to this when I look at storyboards as well, but they look like little squares or even little snippets of a manga. When I read an original novel, there are times that, of course, except for times when it's completely necessary, that I do feel trapped by this imagery or the original story because I really want to use my own imagination and my own creativity. so it can be rather unhelpful if I focus too much on these images or writings.
You told me something when we spoke before about this too, that the three-way tussle, the three-way fight was the hardest scene for you to shoot, probably because of the chaos. And of course, we're used to seeing him fight very well. I loved seeing that total mess. And in that conversation, you also took credit for what I called the butt shot, where we looked down on their butts sticking up together. And by the way, Director Park verified that. He said, yeah, it was his idea. Was that really the hardest scene for you to shoot?
오히려 뭐 무슨 G.I. 조나 무슨 레드 2 같은 영화에서 나오는 그런 코리오그래피는 생각보다 서로가 약간 어떤 서로가 계산이 충분히 돼 있는 것들이니까 좀 어떻게 어떤 면에서는 사고가 덜 나고 좀 쉬울 수 있어요. 하지만 이렇게 개싸움처럼 막 엉켜붙어서 진짜 싸우는 것처럼 하는 그런 코리오그래피는 사실 배우들이 굉장히 힘들어하는 그런 케이스예요. 그래서 아무래도 육체적으로 또 그것도 1대1의 싸움이 아니고 셋이서 엉켜붙는 씬이어서 그거를 하루를 아예 리허설로만 보냈을 정도로 세 배우가 연습을 한 코리오그래피예요. 그렇기 때문에 겉으로 보여지기에는 진짜 개싸움처럼 보이지만 그게 다 정해져 있는 그런 움직임들이었어요.
I think when I'm shooting an action film like G.I. Joe, all the fight choreography is very calculated, and there is that aspect of it. However, when you watch No Other Choice and this music room scene, it's almost as if it's a dogfight, and I think that makes it a little bit more difficult for actors. Not only that, it's not a one-on-one combat, it's three people wrestling together, and we had a completely full day of rehearsal for this, and there was a lot of practice that went into making a scene look like a dogfight, but of course there's still so much choreography and planning to make it look that way.
All right, just a couple more things. Knowing what a big fan I am of Director Parks, I love talking with him about his transitions or his use of color or the things that make his films uniquely his. When you look at this film, is there anything about it, maybe a scene, a moment, an image, that makes you think, yeah, only Director Park would do that?
저 개인적으로 굉장히 좋아하는 씬 중에 하나인데 그 첫 번째 초반에 면접씬을 보자면 그 면접씬에서 계속 끊임없이 자기가 굉장히 이 안은 속은 되게 피폐해 있는데 그리고 되게 데스퍼레이트한 상황인데 겉으로는 굉장히 자기의 잘난 면모를 보여야 하는 그런 어떤 자신감에 찬 모습으로 이야기를 계속해요. 그런데 그 상황 속에서 반대편 빌딩에 비춰진 햇빛을 굉장히 불편해하면서 그 햇빛을 피해야 되고 또 갑자기 밀려오는 치통 때문에 치통 때문에 이렇게 또 손이 이렇게 저절로 입 있는 곳으로 올라가고 또 다리는 긴장해서 계속 떨려오고 그걸 또 누르려고 하고 하는 이 모든 것들을 다 한꺼번에 연기를 했어요. 그런 부분이 저한테는 굉장히 좀 재미도 있었고 또 어렵기도 했지만 저는 그 빛을 그런 어떤 이 사람이 처한 그런 어떤 아주 처절하고 비참한 상황을 빗대어서 그런 빛을 이용한 또 어떤 방법을 쓰는구나 하면서 굉장히 그 순간 놀라웠어요. 촬영하면서.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the first interview scene you see at the beginning of the film, and that's a moment that Mansu is eternally feeling very empty and desperate. However, externally, he has to show off and seem confident in front of the interviewer. And there is the light that's reflecting from the building on the opposite side that's making him extremely uncomfortable. There's also the toothache that he feels that his hand is naturally draws to. And there's also his leg shaking. All of these elements are happening at once. And as an actor, I think that's really fun to be able to articulate, but also very difficult. And I thought the use of light that Director Park used to personify this desperation and anxiety as well as discomfort was really kind of a signature of his.
이것도 또 라이트에 관한 이야기일 수 있는데 맨 마지막 씬에서 그 AI화된 공장에서 만수가 이렇게 굉장히 여전히 약간 낯선 공장이어서 어디로 갈지 몰라하는 그런 어떤 모습으로 걸어가고 있는 가다가 영화가 끝나요. 근데 그 순간 바로 직전에 보면 저 뒤에서부터 소등 시스템으로 인해서 AI니까 불이 하나둘씩 꺼져요. 이 느낌은 마치 이 AI화된 공장은 곧 이 사람마저도 몰아낼 것 같다는 그런 어떤 위기감을 주는 그런 상황으로 끝나게 되는 거예요. 만수의 입장에서는 자기가 이 자리를 얻기 위해서 생각지도 못한 자기 인생 생각지도 못한 엄청난 일을 버리고 이 자리를 차지했는데 결국 자기가 차지한 자리에서 더 거대한 상대를 만나서 그에게서 쫓겨나게 되는 그런 어떤 아주 비극적인 암시인 거죠.
I also wanted to mention another lighting element in the very last scene. Mansu is walking through the factory that's been completely taken over by AI. He feels completely unfamiliar, and as he's walking down the hallway, the lights go off one by one because everything has been automated. And I think that moment is really you get the feeling that AI is pushing Mansu completely out. And Mansu has given up everything, done everything to get to this point. However, he has faced an even bigger opponent, that is the AI. And I think this is a moment of true tragedy.
Yeah, it's a good piece of visual storytelling by Director Park. All right, last thing. The film is a bold, harsh critique of capitalism. Director Park confirmed this. And that's certainly something that, not just me, certainly something to which South Koreans can relate and people in the United States can relate. You've now spent quite a bit of time in the United States promoting this film. I wonder, has the film been received differently in the two countries, in Korea and in the States, or is it similar?
미국에서 이제 여러 번 저도 관객들과 함께 영화를 봤었는데 굉장히 이 영화를 웃음의 포인트를 되게 잘 잡아내서 하나도 놓치지 않고 결국 굉장히 많은 사람들이 웃으면서 이 영화를 보시더라고요. 물론 영화를 보는 전체적인 내용적인 측면으로 그 안에 담겨 있는 우울감이나 또 비극적인 어떤 상황들을 느끼시면서 나가겠지만 굉장히 웃음 포인트들을 놓치지 않고 많이 웃는 편이었다면 한국에서의 관객들의 반응은 좀 더 이 우울하고 심각한 현실에 대한 곳에 더 포인트를 두는 것 같아요. 굉장히 심각하고 우울하게 보세요. 그래서 그런 부분들이 좀 차이가 있었던 것 같아요.
I think now, having watched the film with an American audience multiple times, I think an American audience really catches on to a lot of the humor, the comedy, the funny moments of the film. And I realized that a lot of people are laughing a lot throughout the film. And while still catching on to the kind of depressing moments or the tragic themes of the film, there's still a lot of laughter in the theater. However, for a Korean audience, I realized that they're latching onto more of the depressing themes and the reflections of reality. So the theater feels much more serious when with a Korean audience.
이게 캐피탈리즘의 그 시스템에 대한 이야기라고 부모님 하시지만 캐피탈리즘이란 시스템뿐만 아니라 인간이 만드는 모든 시스템에 대한 이야기가 아닐까 저는 생각을 해요. 시스템이라는 것은 인간이 만들어낸 인간을 위해서 만들어낸 인간들이 만든 건데 결국 그것들이 과연 우리의 삶을 정말 더 좋은 삶으로 방향을 바꾸고 있는 것인가? 라는 것에 대한 질문을 하는 그런 영화가 아닐까 생각해요.
Of course, this film talks about the system of capitalism, but I think it also poses the question that humans who build these systems to make our lives easier, do these systems in fact actually improve the lives of us humans? And I think this question really encompasses throughout the film.
All right, thank you so much for your answers, and
Thank you.
thank you for listening. Ladies and gentlemen,